Our story today is about a shepherd boy and his sheep. It's called Sheep Trouble. But first, let's call up Dave the dog to join us. Dave!
All right. How am you?
Oh, it's good to see you.
I've been practicing at the button
Have
thing.
you've been practicing? Brilliant.
Bluetooth.
So glad we can see and hear you. Are you ready for a story?
Oh, yes.
Brilliant. So our story today is called Sheep Trouble. Yes. So over the hills and in a faraway place lived a shepherd boy, and he had a flock of sheep, lots of sheep. In fact, there were about 50 sheep that he had.
That's a lot of sheep.
That's a lot of sheep, isn't
I
it?
can't
Yeah.
count that high.
No. And his job was to look after the sheep. Make sure they have plenty of food, the right kind of food, healthy food. Had to make sure they had the right water, and he had to protect them, look after them, keep them safe.
Did he sing songs to them too?
I think he might have done if they needed to get to sleep. Yeah, if they were struggling.
Did he give them bones?
No, I don't think sheep eat bones. They eat grass, don't they? Yeah. But he would look after them. And the interesting thing about sheep is that they're quite skittish. They get quite frightened quite easily. And so the shepherd has to be very careful about what kind of water. So it can't be really, really fast water. It's got to be gentle and slow.
I have to go on my lead near dogs.
You have to go on your lead, do you?
Near sheep.
Near sheep. Oh, do you? Are you a good dog then? And you behave yourself around
Oh,
sheep?
yes, I'm good, but they get a bit frightened, and then, well, the shepherds get a bit upset.
That's it. Yeah, because sheep do get very easily frightened. We have to be careful around sheep. Well, you see, in this flock, there were 3 sheep who kept getting into trouble. Well,
I can count to 3.
3. 1, 2, 3. Can you? You can.
1,
So
2, 3.
Well done. Now, these 3 sheep, one was called Henrietta, one was called Jessica, and one was called Bob. Would you like to hear what happened to them, Dave?
Was he really called Bob?
Bob, he was called Bob. Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to hear what happened to them, how they got into trouble? Okay, so one day, Henrietta was in the flock, but she decided that the grass was greener somewhere else, and she wandered off. And she was just going to wander off to see if she could find some nicer grass. But she kept going and kept going. And before she knew it, do you know what happened, Dave?
Something that wasn't good.
She got lost. She couldn't find the shepherd. She couldn't find her friends, all the other sheep.
Told you.
She was lost.
Not good.
And then, do you know what? She started to get frightened because it was starting to get dark, and she thought she could hear some rustling in the trees.
Is this another scary story?
Oh, no, because guess what? Shepherd boy to the rescue.
Yeah.
He knew that Henrietta had disappeared. He looked everywhere. He had to walk a couple of miles, actually.
Did he have an S on his shirt?
Did he have an S?
S for shepherd.
S for shepherd.
Super shepherd.
No, he had a big, long stick to help him protect his sheep. You like sticks? You like sticks? Well, he had a very long, big one to help him to get the sheep out of difficulty. And well, Henrietta got herself into a problem. She was a bit frightened, and she was very glad to see the shepherd boy. And do you know what the shepherd boy did to help Henrietta? He picked her up because she was so tired from walking and so frightened. He picked her up and put her on his shoulders and took her back to the flock. Yep.
He's good, him, isn't he?
He's good, he's shepherd boy.
Can he be my shepherd?
I like that shepherd boy. And do you know what? Henrietta didn't go off again because she stayed with the flock, and she stayed in the protection of the shepherd boy, which is good.
She learned a lesson.
She did learn a lesson.
Oh.
Do you want to hear what happened to Jessica?
Oh, yes.
Well, Jessica, she didn't feel very well. She had a sore on her head, on top of her head, and then she kept sort of scratching it and things and trying to rub up against it, which she shouldn't do because it made it worse. So do you know what the shepherd boy did?
Tablet.
Tablet. No, I don't think sheep could swallow very easily.
Scratched it for her.
No, because scratching was really bad. What he did was he got some special oil and he poured it on Jessica's head, and it made it better.
I have special oil on my neck.
Do you?
Yeah, it gets rid of the
It does.
fleas.
Well, this one got rid of this nasty sore. And do you know what do you know how Jessica thanked the shepherd boy?
Go on.
She rubbed up and then all snuggled up and said thank you.
Did she have a wet nose?
No, I don't think sheep have wet nose. Do you have a wet nose?
Yes.
Well, oh, that means you're healthy, doesn't it? It means you're
Yes.
yes. Do you want to hear about the third sheep? Because there were 3 sheep, wasn't there? Do you remember Bob?
1, 2, 3.
3. Well done. Bob, okay, now this was a real problem. Bob thought he could see some nicer things to eat through this hedge. And you know what he did? Can you guess?
Because I don't know the story.
No, he put his head through the hedge and he tried to eat, but then he couldn't get his head back out of the hedge. He got stuck.
That's not sensible,
No, it
is
wasn't,
it?
was it? And it was like thorns and things that sort of stuck onto his wool. So he got stuck in the hedge. So Shepherd Boy to the rescue again.
Yes.
And he used his huge big rod, his stick. Big stick.
I like sticks. I like sticks. Can you throw a stick? I
I'll
like
have to
sticks.
throw a stick. Oh, when I have a stick, I'll maybe throw you a stick another day. But I haven't got a stick at the moment. But the shepherd boy had a really big one, and what he did is prodded the hedge and moved all the sticky things and the brambles away from Bob, and he rescued him again.
Seems clever, that chap.
He was, wasn't he? He had all the right tools, all the right stuff to look after a sheep. And so Bob was safe and rescued.
Awesome.
So there you go. That was the sheep trouble, the 3 sheep, Henrietta, Jessica and Bob, who got into trouble. What about that, Dave?
That's kind of cool, really, isn't it?
It's cool, isn't it?
I like that story.
Oh.
And they learned some good lessons
They
too.
did. What did you like about the story?
Bob.
Bob, you like Bob?
And the stick. We like sticks.
You like the stick?
We like sticks a lot, I do.
Okay, well, we'll try and make sure there's some more stories with sticks in,
Thank
Dave,
you.
especially for you. Well, thank you for joining us, Dave. We'll say bye now and see you next time.
Bye,
Bye, Dave. Bye. Well, that's story time.